So I've got a brand new update as to what is going on with the hacker situation and CD Projekt Red. So yes, a hacker stole a bunch of files from CD Projekt Red, including the actual source code to Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3. Then they attempted to put it up for auction, the actual source code of Cyberpunk 2077 for about $1 million to $7 million. Well, guess what? Today it seems like they may have actually succeeded in selling this source code to someone on the black market. It says stolen CD Projekt Red files reportedly now sold after dark web auction. I kid you not. Also, we have an update right here from CD Projekt Red. It says CD Projekt co-founder says hacking attack on the company will affect the pace of work in the short term, which is definitely a bummer to hear, and it sounds like that it most likely will affect whatever development they're doing with free DLC and post-launch content, as well as fixes to the game. But let's dive into the news and get into this right now. Overworld Games here. Hope you're doing good, and let's do this. First of all, we're going to start here with those stolen files. So yes, the upfront purchase price was, of course, reportedly set at $7 million. Here is the update. This comes from IGN. It says, files stolen from CD Projekt Red in a ransomware attack revealed earlier this week have reportedly now been sold in a dark web auction. Dark web monitoring organization Kela, which previously provided The Verge with what it believes to be the legitimate file list from CD Projekt Red's engine, reports that an auction set up to sell the files has now been closed after a satisfying offer was made from outside of the forum it was being held on. That offer reportedly stipulates that the code will not be distributed or sold further. Cybersecurity account VX Underground also reported that it had heard the sale was completed. Now, interestingly, you can theorize who actually purchased the code, but there's an interesting theory also that perhaps CD Projekt Red actually bought back the code. So that stipulation of the code not being distributed or sold further indicates that, in my opinion, that could actually be the case right here. Now, here's the actual quote here. It says, just in, CD Projekt Red auction is closed. Hackers auction off stolen source code from the Red Engine and CD Projekt Red game releases and have just announced that a satisfying offer from outside the forum was received with the condition of no further distribution or selling. Yeah, so who knows? Let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think CD Projekt Red actually went in there and purchased the code for themselves? It says, speaking to IGN, Victoria Kavovich, a threat intelligence analyst at Kela, explained that it appears all the files stolen, which apparently included source code for Cyberpunk 2077, multiple versions of The Witcher 3, and Gwent, were sold in a single package. It's unclear who the buyer is or what they intend to do with the files at the time of this writing. It is also unclear what price the files were sold for, but reports yesterday indicated an upfront purchase price of $7 million. Kelovich provided IGN with a translated screenshot of a separate forum XSS dated February 10th, in which the perpetrated seller Red Engine says CD Projekt should pay the Blitz upfront purchase fee because of the sensitive data contained in the files. Of course, right now we can't verify whether that is true. CD Projekt publicly said it would not pay any ransom. So that's what they are officially saying. Of course, we don't know what CD Projekt Red is actually doing on the back end of this. Of course, they did confirm that they are working with law enforcement to kind of counter this hacker, but yeah, this is still, in my opinion, a developing story for sure. Now, also, it says this, in a report aided by Kela yesterday, The Verge explained that the auction required a deposit to enter, intended to show potential buyers that this wasn't a scam auction, with bids starting at $1 million moving into 500,000 increments. VX Underground also reported that source code, or at least fragments of the source code for Gwent, have been released, which have been another showing of proof that the files were in the hand before the auction. So they were saying that this was legit. This hacker does have the actual source codes. While still unconfirmed, multiple cybersecurity experts have pointed to the ransomware attack coming from a group called Hello Kitty, based on the title and contents of the ransom note posted by CD Projekt following the hack. The amount of people that are thinking this was done by a disgruntled gamer is laughable. Judging by the ransom note that was shared, this was done by a ransomware group we tracked as Hello Kitty. This has nothing to do with disgruntled gamers and is just your average ransomware. Wow, and also this is going to be a huge red flag to many publishers and developers out there as well. A huge warning to them to step up their security game as well as we wait in this elevator. So CD Projekt had no comment when contacted by IGN for a statement. All right, so let's keep going with the news and rotate over to the other news story as well. But, you know, how is this whole situation going to actually affect, of course, the actual development of Cyberpunk 2077 and fixing it? So, CD Projekt co-founder says hacking attack on the company will affect the pace of work in the short term. Earlier this week, Cyberpunk 2077 and Witcher 3 developer CD Projekt Red announced hackers had targeted the company and attempted to hold it at ransom. Of course, we already know this as well. It says the news shows not only the risk that video game studios face from hackers, but also the continuing trends of hackers not only deploying ransomware to lock targeted machines for payment, but also threaten and follow through with the leaking of data. CD Projekt co-founder Adam Gdański commented on the situation. The president of the company said that the situation is being investigated, but it will directly affect the speed of work, but for how long is not entirely clear. He goes on to say this: currently we are primarily investigating the incident itself, trying to secure the infrastructure and restore data. According to all the rules, information is regularly saved in the form of backups. It's too early to talk about the long-term effects of the attack, but it will definitely affect the pace of development in the short term. And you can see that comes from the president and CEO of CD Projekt Red. Now, furthermore, it says this: the servers and resources of CD Projekt Group were attacked by the hackers. To the best of our knowledge, there was no leakage of personal data of players and other users of our services. At the moment, we are focusing on investigating the incident itself, securing infrastructure, and restoring data in accordance with our internal procedures. They're regularly saved in the form of backup, so that's kind of redundant right there. But yeah, you know, it's good that they have backups, of course. If they didn't have backups, that would be just stupid. But yeah, good that they have those backups, but it's still going to be time consuming for them to resolve this issue, trying to figure out what exactly happened, what type of security holes they have in their actual security infrastructure, I guess you would say. So we'll see what happens with this story. I will continue covering it. Again, I never imagined that this would happen with CD Projekt Red or Cyberpunk 2077. But what's interesting about this whole scenario is that even if the game had released solid, you know, without the problems, I still feel like this could happen to any company, given that it appears that it's some sort of separate group away from disgruntled gamers, that they kind of took advantage of this soft security that it appears that the servers that CD Projekt Red actually have. So they're going to have to up their security. They're going to probably have to hire some new security professionals at their studio or something. And again, I am certain that there are many studios right now, developers, publishers right now in the gaming industry in particular, that are super paranoid. And they're probably having meetings, going over security, even upgrading security with everything that has happened recently. So yeah. Now, there's also a really unique mod that did just release. I wanted to highlight that right here. It's called Cyberpunk 2077 Weapon Roulette mod. Introduces new combat mechanic, and it basically allows you to have like a random weapon equip per encounter. So I thought it was really cool, and it sounds like something to really mix up your game. I'll try to throw the link in the description below to this one, but there's also this. It says there aren't a whole lot of Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay mods as of now, but the ones that are out are quite interesting. Earlier this week, a new mod that attempts to improve police behavior has been released online, introducing motorcycle chases. So this one introduces motorcycle police spawns right here. It'll take effect automatically when you commit crimes and gain heat. The chase AI handles motorcycles much better than cars, making the chases more interesting. So I thought that was really cool. And again, I expect CD Projekt Red to actually be paying attention to these mods and working on stuff officially. I hope they're really in tune to the modding community going forward. And guess what? It's time for your top comments. Leave a comment down below. It could end up in a future video. So let's do this. So this was the previous video right here. It says stolen source code being auctioned for $7 million and CD Projekt refuses to pay up. Let's see what you guys actually had to say about the situation. Comments now loading. So here is the first top comment. It says H24009 says, for those who are confused what danger the source code being out in the wild could mean, if hackers have the source code of a program, in this case a video game, they could potentially find exploits to hack people's systems whenever they run said program. Then they use these exploits as backdoor into your system when they steal personal information and then profit from it, either by robbing you themselves or by auctioning off the info to other groups who profit off identity theft. Edit, okay, let me clarify. There may or may not be any vulnerabilities to exploit. My point is that if you want to keep out robbers, don't leave the blueprints to your house sitting out on the sidewalk. Also, the games use a launcher which does use your internet to check for news and updates when you run it, assuming you are connected. It could be nothing, but it's a possibility that these games could be compromised even though they're single player games, except when all we can do is hope no exploits exist. That's actually a really good point. Despite the game being single player, it still uses these launchers as well. Rudy says, the elders used to tell me if something is stolen from you, the first place to look is in the family. Oh my god. Infamous 5 Killer says, in 1 year we are going to see a Chinese Witcher game. Probably, it could be. That could probably be true, but with how quickly it was actually purchased, you know, I have my own theories. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if CD Projekt Red actually purchased back the source code. That's my opinion. I could be wrong, though. Jinkpol says, damn, this guy must have maxed out his technical ability. Rider Zero says, drinking game for open world games. Take a shot anytime, he says. For sure. Good luck, y'all. I know what you mean, for sure. Bob Modester says, good luck selling that bug-ridden source code. Bruno says, I have zero interest for multiplayer. I only care for single player, but even that is at risk. Yep. Real Life Fiction says, I'm curious if they got a copy of the new Red engine. That would be worth more than the game files and documents. And honestly, the new Red engine would probably be even worth more than 7 million. Seriously, you know. Justin says, they aren't going to get money for the code. Anyone with the bread to buy it would know what would happen if they reused that code or were found reverse engineering it. They'd be sued into Kingdom Come. Another reason why I think if the code was actually purchased, it was done by CD Projekt Red. Irstez says, I mean, who wants to add to the assery of stealing this and then also buying it? You are no freaking Robin Hood for having done that in the first place. Yep. So thank you all so much for the top comments. Keep sending in those comments. I love reading them. I'm serious seeing what you guys have to say because you guys have really good takes on the entire situation with many different topics in my videos that I do. So keep sending those in. I'll keep highlighting them for you as well. But thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Cyberpunk 2077 news updates. Hopefully, you know, crossing my fingers, I can actually get into proper news updates for you all about content. New DLC, the free DLC, that sort of stuff. I really want to get back to that. So hopefully, once this all calms down someday, which I do think that day will come, we can actually get back to, you know, the stuff that, you know, we hopefully can get hyped for. I do want to see the Cyberpunk franchise succeed in the future. So crossing my fingers that despite all the crazy stuff happening with CD Projekt Red, that they can pull it together, they survive this, and we get, you know, a Cyberpunk game that we've always wanted, and the Cyberpunk franchise can continue on for years and years. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.